The Cedo Prime is the newest weapon to join the Warframe's arsenal. Using 2 fire modes to spread status to all targets in your sight, this build is not only made for single targets in mind, but also to prime enemies with loads of status effects. So let's just get right into how you could utilize this weapon to the maximum. Let's first look at how to use the Cedo Prime and what it does before we get into the mods. First is the Cedo Prime's primary fire. It's an auto shotgun with a high fire rate and a very tight spread, making it really nice for single targets, even at range. The secondary fire mode, on the other hand, is a glaive launcher similar to what the Zorus does, which it bounces around the room several times with small bursts of explosions, with guaranteed status effect procs on all enemies hit, with the first proc based on the modded status effect type, and the second being a randomized standard status effect, that being cold, toxin, electricity, or heat, making this gun an amazing status spreader. Now let's look at my build. I don't have the perfect mod setup for this weapon, but we'll go into just what you could do to increase its output and what its strengths are. So first we'll go over the mandatory mods. These are going to be your status and crit mods. Since the Cedo Prime has 50% status on semi-fire and its glaive fire mode, while its sustained fire only has a 24% critical chance. So we'll be putting on Galvanized Savvy, or Shotgun Savvy if you don't have access to the Galvanized mods yet, and we'll do the same thing for Galvanized Hell. Just used regular Hell fire if you don't have Galvanized Hell. This will increase your status chance and multi-shot while giving you more direct damage from the Savvy mods. Since the Cedo's unique trait is to have 60% direct damage per status and 40% from the Galvanized Savvy, this will give you loads of flat damage. Next is your critical mods. For me, this is critical deceleration for the 200% critical chance, which puts you at a grand 72% chance for critical hits. And then we apply Ravage Base or its primed version to boost its critical damage. Lastly is our status mods, which is the mods that are most important for this build since, again, the Cedo gains insane amount of damage per status effect on your target. I would suggest building for the faction you're going up against the most, but in this video I'll just show you an all-around neutral build so you could get through the game without needing to min-max your playstyle. So our first status mod is going to be Atomic Fallout for Radiation. This will do extra damage to both Sentience and Murmur, but will also cause most enemies to attack each other, which is amazing since we're priming multiple enemies at the same time. Next is Corrosive to strip armor from enemies, that being mostly from the Grineer and the new Scaldra types. And lastly, we have two options. We could either put on Magnetic Strife for the Corpus, or we could use Hunter Munitions to apply Slash. For this, I'll be using Magnetic since I don't own Hunter Munitions, but I also like the shield stripping that Magnetic offers. Plus, Magnetic Strife also gives you 40% attack speed, which is really important on the Cedo as a quality of life mod, meaning you'll have access to different arcanes rather than using Shotgun Vendetta. In this case, I run Primary Merciless, and for your Exilus mod, that's 100% up to you. I use Vigilante Supplies to resupply my primary ammo, which just gives me a little more critical damage as well. So that's the basic build, but how do we use this in game? The easiest way is by going into an enemy or a large group of enemies and alt-firing to throw out our glaive on the primary targets. Then just unloading as many shots as we can to kill them. Depending on how many status procs are on the target, it could almost one-shot level 120 non-steel path enemies. Having a status spreader as a companion is also really good, that being either a Panzer Vulpaphyla, a Sentinel, or any of the Hounds. These are good pairings for this weapon since they all build a lot of status around large groups of enemies, amplifying your damage to crazy amounts. As you can see, we could clear out large groups of enemies in little over a couple seconds with just a companion and the Cedo. Let's see how this build works against each faction now. As you can see, insane damage across the board. Almost no enemy can survive the damage. The only thing we have to look out for is enemies that are immune to status, boss types, and Xmas units. So just use your secondary fire first and spray enemies down with that primary fire. And then boom, you got a load of dead enemies. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about the new Cedo Prime. Like always, I'll end the video off by posting a bit of live gameplay for my Twitch stream. So if you want to be part of my growing community, make sure to join via the links below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this little weapon guide, and let's show this off in some actual missions. I mean, capture's a really good mission type to show it off in. It does, I mean, all we have to do is take out a capture target, shoot some enemies nearby, and it will give a little stress test. So let us see how this goes. Steel Path Corpus Venus mission. Not too high level, not too low, just right to show things off. Shoot that. Yeah, okay, this thing is not fair. These are Steel Path enemies. This guy's not even primed. Half these guys aren't even primed and it still shreds. Watch. One shot. Okay, let's see if I can kill. Oop. See if I can kill him pretty fast. I can indeed. Yeah, Steel Path is no match for this new Cedo Prime. It's not even funny how broken this thing is. It's just dead. Not even primed. Dead. Like I was saying before in the video portion of this, you have to prime enemies, but that's mostly just if they have lots of armor and all that. This, because we built for shield stripping with magnetic, it just takes out everything. Put on my armor, make sure I'm really strong, and boom. Everything is dead. Nothing lives. I mean, these are the new dual Zoran Prime that come with it. I have not built them very well. They only have half their mods on them, but yeah. Even these are kind of shredding. This just shows you why the Cedo is my favorite weapon. It's a shotgun that shoots like a assault rifle. Like, why wouldn't I love this thing? Isn't there supposed to be an acolyte that comes out too? I've been waiting for him. Maybe that's only in certain missions. I guess.
Corpus walkers are heading to your location.
Guess capture isn't a acolyte mission. Which is fine. I mean, I wanted more steel essence. Oh, it wouldn't even proc because I don't have my Volpophile. I have my Hound out. I mean, he's nice, but it's the one thing I don't like about him. He doesn't give me extra loot. I only bring him out when I want to do lots of damage. But yeah. Quick little show off. We'll do one more mission for the video part, and we will have a lot of fun for the rest of the night. Defeat Jackal. Alright. Yeah, those are all the old stuff. Can I get through? Thank you. Alright, this is a Rhino Spectre. Let's see what level he is. Let's see, is he gonna shoot me? He is. I can't really see him, but I'm just gonna... Yep. Yeah, okay. That was... How many seconds? I wasn't counting. It doesn't matter. This is just... Cedo gameplay. Oh, what is... That is choppy. Look at that. There we go. Now I connected the planets together. And we can easily now go to Mercury, which is nice. Some easy peasy gameplay. Let's see. Yep, just gotta run this. I don't want to. I'm not.